which is July 24, 2015, and the work session July 24th, the meeting of July 28, 2015. If I had a chance to review those, is there a motion to approve both of those? So, is there a second?
I'll say.
Okay, I move the second. Any questions? None noted. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. None noted. For public comment, we have Byron Gray with South SWA. I assume it's in South Carolina.
Southwest Airlines.
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay. Guys, I don't want to waste too much of your time. I appreciate the opportunity to sit here and address y'all. I'm a resident here, born and raised in Mississippi. I've been here my whole life. I'm the spokesman for a lot of the residents here who are left in the wake of Southwest Airlines pulling out of Jackson. This is our home. When they pulled out, it was devastating to us. We want to continue to stay here and earn a living and be in this community and be a big part of it. I just want to address the board and say that the employees left here. We want to stay here because we want to raise our families here. We love Jackson. We like to say, I think it's fair to say that if Jackson is an affordable place to live, it's mutually beneficial to everyone. Sometimes these seemingly small decisions like parking costs have a bigger part to play on these things than people like to realize at the time. I just made some notes so I can remember to cover everything. After talking with a lot of these people, I'm basically the spokesman for all of them. This parking situation, I've only talked to one person. I didn't know really who to address, who to talk to, how to be a part of the solution, or what our options were. I've only talked with Bonnie Wilson and JMAA, who I haven't had the pleasure of actually meeting in person. We've had 2 phone conversations. In the conversation, she said more than once it was an $800,000 deficit to JMAA, and these decisions are being made because of the lack of money with JMAA. She also said that due to regulating and things that the airport were requiring her to do, Southwest not being here to share that cost, there's really no benefit into JMAA for us to be parking here anymore. I wanted the opportunity just to address a few of these statements, let you know that commuting for us is a hard choice anyway. 54 days a year we spend on the road. It costs about $5,000 a year per employee. And we do this because we want to. It's a sacrifice and expense we make to stay here in our community, which we love. Jackson's a wonderful place, and we want to continue to stay here. That move from this close employee lot to the long-term parking lot is a really big deal for us. It's a lot of added time, a lot of added trouble. It's the shuttling, it's waiting on the shuttle, it's the weather, it's the rain. For us to be commuters, we spend a lot of times in the airport not getting paid, trying to get on flights to get home so we can stay in this community and live and raise our children here. After bumped off flights all day long, sometimes it takes a day and a half just to get home. So when we land here, the wonderful thing, and the only predictable part of our community is that our car is walking distance right over there. That's the only thing we can count on. Get off the airplane, walk to your car, get in your car, and go home. And it's nice. And of course, communities, we make that choice to do. But with the choice to move us from this parking lot to the long-term parking lot, really, for me, it's an $1,800 fee for us to move down there. I fly 17 days a month. That's 204 days a year. So that package is $8.82 a day for me to park in the long-term parking. With all the extra expense and trouble and adding and shoving, I'm only getting or being offered $1.18 discount off what anybody else would get to park there. I'm just hoping that you'll consider us as not part of the airline who decided to pull out of Jackson. We're the residents who are devastated with less choices, less travel options, a lot of less choices of all Jacksons because of Southwest not being here. And this is just part of it. We're just looking at the lot. It's not over capacity. On its busiest day, it's been at 70%. Normally, it's 50% capacity down there. Other airlines and C-17 unit, Naval Air Station, FedEx, Atlas, and other airlines are being allowed to stay there for various packages. But right now, we were paying $85 a year. Went from that to $1,800 a year to long-term parking. We talked to Jim Cooksey. The TSA, they don't require anything extra for us to park in that parking lot. Whether we're there or not, it doesn't increase the cost to JMAA that we're there. If we are asked to go, which we have been, and go pay $1,800 around there, I can promise you several of our flight attendants cannot afford $1,800 due upfront in September to park in long-term parking. They don't make that much money. They're trying to live here on a salary that doesn't allow them to go and, that's a pretty big increase for parking. We just want a little bit of compassion and a little bit of sympathy, and to please reconsider the fact that you're talking 12 to 18 people total. We want to pay you for anything it might cost to park there. We're cleared by TSA. We're random drug tested. We've got all the security clearances. We can go through known crew member access. I'm allowed in any cockpit in the world of any airline, so it's not a security cost or a security risk. I have to maintain that status by Southwest Airlines being employed there. So we just would hope that you would consider that maybe, since our airline doesn't serve there, we would pay quadruple what you were charging any other person to park in that lot. Gladly, quadruple, which would be $340 a year. That's way more than the $85. You get more money. You can help cover the costs for whatever's going on. But at $1,800 and being pushed to long-term parking, people cannot afford that. For me personally, that's going to be $3,600 because my wife is also a flight attendant here. We have alternating schedules. We can't ride share. That's a ton of money. And I just want to stay here in Jackson, and I don't want to move, and I don't want to have to move. And I know this seems like, well, he's not going to move just for parking, but it's the big picture. We're already going through a ton of blows. We have to sit and beg for rides on Delta every day. When they're full, we don't go to work. And then the parking, it's salt on a wound, and we feel like we're being victimized, and we want to be with this community. And if we can stay here and raise our families here, we think we have a lot to offer the community of Jackson. Our tax money will stay here and circulate. We don't have to consider a decision to go. But some of the other people, like Gina Fillingen, who addressed this board a month ago, her family's from Pensacola. Her husband can move somewhere, but she likes Jackson. But when you start factoring all these costs and these little bitty decisions that may be a money decision, and the other things the bigger picture could push money out of Jackson and not be the best thing for the people that live here and want to live here and be a part of this community. I'm just asking for compassion and to reconsider this, readdress it. We certainly will be willing and agree to pay more money, but we're as disappointed as anybody else that Southwest Airlines isn't here. And it has really turned our lives upside down. And the fact that we can walk to our car is an unbelievable, great, wonderful thing that we could get, y'all could honor us with and grant us with. It'd be great. But to be pushed out of there after everything that's happened, that's just something we simply, the people that can't afford it are having to look at options like doing carpooling and doing several of the options and parking off premises and getting shuttled up.
You can take maybe like 2 minutes and wrap it up.
Yes, shuttled up. And none of these options would bring revenue to JMAA. But letting us stay here and pay a little bit more actually would. I'm sorry if I took too much time.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
sir.
have a question for you. Does Southwest, have you brought this to your employer's attention?
We have, and Southwest will help people with the airports that they're at. But every commuter that commutes at a station that Southwest
But you
does
have
not
brought it to
serve.
them, and what did they say?
They said, unfortunately, since we're not there at the airport, we don't have really a dog in this race.
Okay, so they're not going to help you out here, but you can file this with your taxes, right? This is the cost of you earning your income.
A portion of that would be tax deductible.
Yes.
A portion of that would.
So where do you live?
I live in Richland. And 80% of anything I do is in Jackson proper. I mean, I don't live in the city of Jackson, but we Jackson's small, Richland, Madison, Jackson, all the money's circulating in the same circles.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
CEO Luis.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes,
Starting on our airport project manager summary, which is found on page 1. If you have any comments or questions Thursday, if not, I'll continue on. We covered a lot of ground on Thursday, so. And then,
take that into account.
yes, sir. That's what I'm reading between the lines. So, airport activity statistics are found on page 18. Any questions regarding that? Hearing none, then I will then go to our employee organizational recognition, and that's found on page 32, and I believe the only thing we have is our employee of the month. And if you would join me in recognizing Mr. Chad Parker as our employment development specialist for the month of August, and he's been with us since November of 2007. So previously he was employed with the Mississippi Department of Rehab for 6 years. So please join me in welcoming employee of the month.
How are you, sir? Congratulations. Congratulations, sir.
Thanks, sir. Chad.
That's right. Oh, this one, right?
Come on front, that's the light up for
Oh, yeah.
Or sit down.
You got words on your face.
Hold on. Need to play.
Thank you, sir. That would help with the completion. Come on, Joyce.
Wait, I'm trying to make it.
Thank you. John, anything from the attorney?
Just want to remind everybody that the ADK, the recruitment firm, is going to be held on September 18th at the work session. If you have a particular time that you want them to come, you want them to be here.
Right there.
Right there.
Okay. Financial my expert.
Yes, sir. Go through the financial reports, balance sheet, income statement, and claims docket. Start on page 33 and run through to page 37.
I believe you got a chance to review those and go over. Is there a motion to accept the balance sheet?
So,
I second.
Right, moving second. Any questions? None noted. All in favor, aye. Aye. None opposed, same. None noted. They nodded. All said, all agree. And then we have fiscal year 2015 budget presentation. We're actually going to skip that. Okay, we're going because we need to make one more modification, and we'll adopt that at the next meeting in September. We went over there extensively at work session, and waiting on property casualty final numbers. That way they'll all be incorporated in, and we'll have the final numbers to approve. Service agreement?
Yes, sir. The first agenda item is the public safety radio system software agreement with Harris Corporation. It's found on page 42 of your board packet. There are no changes from Thursday's workshop.
Can we go ahead and do the second one also?
Certainly. It's management designated parking areas and JAN authorized extension of agreement with Republic Parking Systems and AJA Jackson LLP, which is found on page 44 of your board packet.
If we have a motion to approve both of those, we reviewed both of those at the work session. Second. And properly moved, seconded. Commissioner Harden. No questions? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, the same. Noted, leave that construction project.
Yes, sir. The lighting assessment and evaluation JAN authorized addendum to agreement advertisement for bids. Scott C. Woods Associates, which is found on page 46 of your board packet.
And we also had a chance to go there. Got a motion to approve. For a second. Second. Any questions? None noted. All in favor, aye. Opposed, the same. None noted. Criminal grants this time. Other.
You have the non-commercial hangar fuel operating agreement at JAN CB Aviation LLC, which is found on page 50 of board packet.
Can we go into the second too?
Okay, so, equipment maintenance service operating agreement, authorized addendum, Global Aviation Services LLC, it's found on page 53 of your board packet.
Okay, and I think we had a chance to do both of those last time. Got a motion to approve both of those.
So,
Is there a second?
Second.
Second question. Noted, all in favor, aye. On the next one, though, question I had on front end, did we fix the lane?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, good, okay. And if that's the case, that's been resolved. We also just go over that Thursday. Is there a motion to approve the lease and concession agreement with food and beverage concessions at Jackson Municipal International Airport? Now, right, the amendment, Post International. Moved by Commissioner Stallworth, is there a second? Harris, any questions? Noted, all in favor, aye. Opposed, the same. None noted. Any early issues? Board travel. At this time, I'll make a motion to go into closed session to determine whether or not we're doing an executive session regarding a personnel matter. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second to go into closed session. Any questions? Noted, all in favor of going to closed session, make a determination if we're going to executive session related to personnel matter. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Noted. At this point, we ask y'all to leave. We're going to executive.